Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. Today, the captain's going to talk a little bit. I know this is way off topic being the 22nd, but again, I was on vacation trying to catch up. Bear with me. The Commander banned and restricted announcement that everybody cares about when honestly no one should. So, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get more videos and see the box opening series, which is on fire for Dragonstorm. Gotta love that set. And Final Fantasy's coming up. You don't want to miss that. So, for those of you, if you're under a rock somewhere, let me fill you in here. Commander had 5 unbannings on the 26th of April. 22nd of April. Oof, boy. It's late. I'm tired. Work with me. We have a unbanning of Gifts Ungiven, unbanning of Sway of the Stars, unbanning of Braids, Cabal Minion, Correlation Victory, and Panoptic Mirror. So, first off, let me give you my rundown on my feelings about this unbanning, we'll say. I don't care. The only reason to have banned cards in Commander, in my personal opinion, is if you're playing Commander competitively. And you can, and feel, do you. If that's what you want to do, fine. But Commander is always supposed to have been a fun format for multiple players for you to get your shenanigans on. Now, with that being said, are these cards powerful? Oh yeah, they're powerful. Should they be banned? Well, I mean, there's a reason for each of it, but again, if you go off Rule 0, which is basically take the house rule, if you're the dude who shows up every day with the Coalition Victory Braids deck or whatever it is, and your friends hate playing against it, your friends should probably tell you to stop bringing it. And you should be nice and let them know, you know what, this is annoying for everybody. Maybe I shouldn't play it for the fun of the game. Now, if you're nice about it, they'll let you whip it out every now and then and give it a spin. And you'll probably be gang beat off the table. But beside that, maybe it'll go off and you'll have a good time. But really, all these bannings and restrictions and all this, it was good at a time, but now we're at a point, I think, in this game where none of this matters because it's become so political. And when I say that, I mean as far as what some people think versus the other, and what comes about from this, which upsets the community. It's just not worth the hassle. Yes, people made lots of money specking on the cards that would be unbanned. And I know what you're thinking. Well, how would they know? Well, because people can't keep their damn mouths shut. That's how. It's not, we'll call it a coincidence for people to have, I don't know, 200 to 300 copies of a card that's suddenly unbanned and spikes in price. Now, sometimes people can get lucky and they're not bad people. But because so many people do it with insider information, it kind of just changes the narrative and just sours everybody's response to it. So, all that being said, before we get to it any further, if you want my gist of it, I don't care what they ban or unban, other than the fact of how much it's going to cost me to sell a card or whatever, because I deal with newer singles. I'll sell my old singles over time, but let's be honest, guys. At some point or another, any Magic card can spike for whatever dumb reason because of people banning or unbanning, or they print a card that just causes so much upheaval. So, yeah. But I am with you when I hear you guys complain about people insider trading, basically, by buying a bunch of a card they know is going to be unbanned, and then waiting for the price to jack up and then putting it back on the market. But hey, what are we going to do? Sometimes people just suck. That's right. I said it. So, why were these cards unbanned? Let's go into that. So we have Gifts Ungiven. You can see here, Sway of the Stars, Braids, Coalition Victory, and the Panoptic Mirror. So let's listen to their side of the story, if you will. So Gavin Verhey, on behalf of the Commander format panel, why is he speaking on their behalf? Anyway, so we have Gifts Ungiven. So this is a beloved card with a great history. It is. I've played it in Modern. It's a pretty good card. Many of you out there have enjoyed casting this cards in all sorts of formats, and we're excited to return to Commander. The previous concern had been the nature of this as a powerful tutor. The time-intensive casting costs, the time-intensive casting process, and the combos enabled by the card. We considered this within the structure of the brackets and just regular pre-game conversions. If your deck is trying to infinite combo people with this, they should often help sort out if you are playing it in the right environment. Again, like I mentioned before, there's no reason to get upset. Just don't let them play the cards. And also, sorry, quick tangent. If we're going to do a power structure of like 1 to 5 with rules, why is anything banned? Huh? Why don't we just set the rules on what cards are available in which in every power level with no bannings? I mean, obviously, if you're power level 1, you can't play certain cards. You can call them banned, whatever. But as you go up the ranks, those cards become available, and we just call it good. Like, why is there a banned list? Love of God. Anyway, moving on. Sorry. So we have Sway of the Stars. So each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she owns in a library, then draws 7 cards. Each player's life total becomes 7. So the 10-mana way to reset the game, akin to Worldfire, which was previously unbanned in Commander to little fanfare or play. Yeah, because nobody cares. There are some players who enjoy this effect. It is an impactful card, but not very powerful. There are plenty of other spells that cost 8 or more mana that have a far higher impact than Sway. Boy, that ain't no shit. I'll tell you what. Our guess is that it will see little play, but the people who enjoy this card will enjoy playing it, basically. That's fair. I mean, the only problem with this card is it's going to be in decks with, like, other cards that make you not be able to draw, or cards that are like Notion Thief or whatever, and you can steal your opponent's draws so they have no permanents and no draws. But that's going to be rough because this is 10 mana, and there's no way. It's not like it's got Delve or any weird shit, so it'll be fine. Like, it's just going to be one of those cards that in the right situation will just end the game. And let's be honest, there are plenty of those in Commander already, so calm down. All right, Braids. This ought to be a good one. Beloved character? True. Card nostalgic? Yes. Played as one of your 99 cards or later in the game is totally reasonable effect with an appropriate impact on the game. Also true. The most frustrating Braids games are when it's put out extremely quickly and people feel locked out. Yeah, like a turn 2 Dark Ritual Braids sucks balls. For everyone involved, even the person playing it, because it could get out of hand quick. We'll just say that. However, as little as a single removal spell can take care of it, yeah, we have enough removal spells now that this can easily be dealt with. Not only do we have the 1 black kill anything that has power toughness equal to 5, which includes this. We also have Fatal Push, which once Braids cause you to sacrifice something, you can simply Fatal Push her. There's Lightning Bolt, Swords to Plowshares. There are plenty of ways to deal with this 4-mana card, and lots of good removal. So I really don't think this card's that big of an issue, but it is or can or will be a card that can cause serious problems if gotten out early. So it's just going to make people play their decks a little different, or we'll say build them to make sure they have a couple of removal spells or counter spells handy in case some wild shit jumps off. Now, a lot has changed since Braids was banned in 2009. We mostly believe people will know what they're signing up for in a game with Braids as a commander and as a card in the 99. So if this is your commander card, you're probably a heathen, and that's fine. If it's in your 99, you're probably almost human. So we'll go with that. Next, we have Correlation Victory. As you guys know, if you win the game, if you control a land of each basic type and a creature of each color. This card had a great deal of discussion. A lot boils down to how impactful and how much of an auto include it is in a deck with 5-color commander. It essentially reads win the game if you control your commander. This is not the most satisfying into the game, and it does begin to become an auto include in many decks. Is that an appropriate card to exist? Well, however, it is easy to interact with. A single removal spell in response to a 5-color commander means you spent 8 mana to do nothing. Also, you need to untap. You need to have your commander. You need to have 8 mana. You also got to have a land of each type, which is a little easier than normal with all the dual lands, but still. It says here, additionally, those engaging with commander brackets, it is within the time frame of what we expect an I win combo to fall. So again, if we're doing the bracket thing, like it says right there, why do we have ban cards to begin with? Why can't we just make the brackets so that we don't need to ban cards? Just putting it out there again. And then finally, the Panoptic Mirror. 5 colorless, imprint X. You may remove an instant sorcery card, command mana, cost X from your hand from the game. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may copy and imprint an instant or instant card and play the copy without paying its mana cost. Now, they talk about enjoying playing this card back in Darksteel, so forth and so on. The first is imprinting an extra turn. The game is immediately over. The second is imprinting something extremely repetitive, such as a board sweeper or so the game cannot move forward. Latter is something to be a lot less worried about. 2025. There are so many answers to artifacts in decks. Even if you're under a board lock, you can get it out. So probably true. But again, it can be a combo piece where if you're not careful and you tap out, this can end the game for you. So also, they mentioned here as well, the first one is well addressed by bracketed play. As I mentioned, why do we need banned cards? And regardless of the bracket system, many tables have a good idea of whether they enjoy infinite combos appearing. Finally, it does take a full turn and a large mana investment, and people have several windows to respond. Very fair. So they also talk about Dockside Sorceress, Jewel Lotus, and Mana Crypt. We did talk about these cards and are not unbanning them at this time. That's dumb. Again, why do we have ban cards if we have the bracket system? And if we really want to use the bracket system, we should unban everything so we know how to play the bracket system and so we can fix the bracket system correctly with the appropriate power and cards in play. So, yeah. Just my 2 cents there on it. Probably nobody's watching all the way to the end because, well, this is pretty old and I gave you my real thought at the beginning. I think this is just nonsense. I don't even think we really need a commander board once we have brackets in play. But anyway, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table. Commander. Whatever.